Hello there and welcome back to another i30 video. And today I am going to be continuing my obsession with hot hatches by reviewing this. The Hyundai i30 Fastback N. And yes, before anybody says it, yes, there is a shadow from the tripod, but it's about midday and it's a very low sun and it's very bright and it's the only time where it's not been ridiculously windy. On with the review. Right, so first off we're going to talk about the styling of this car. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to say that this is the Hyundai i30 Fastback N. It is not, as I've been told many a time, the i30N Fastback. Small distinction, apparently very important. I don't know why either, but moving on. So, from the front, this looks very much the same as the hatchback. You've got the nice LED lights, you've got, you know, a very aggressive front end, you've got the honeycomb, you've got the N badges, all that kind of stuff. So, very much the same as the hatchback, the normal hatchback. You can't just say the hatchback because this is also a hatchback. Very confusing. What's important is, I think that I turn the car around because this looks great, but it's at the back where everything is changed and important and very funky. So now we're at the back of the car, we can start to appreciate this fantastic coupe/hatchback design a little more. Now, this is a tried and tested style. This has been done on the Mercedes with the CLA and CLS, and BMW have done it with the 4 Series, 6 Series and 8 Series Grand Coupes. So what you have is basically a slightly longer model with a lower and more sloping type roofline. Now it does eat into rear headroom a little bit, but it just looks fantastic. Now especially I think you've got this rising shoulder line that comes up, meeting it at the back, and this lovely, lovely ducktail at the back there with the extended black spoiler that you get for this N model. I genuinely think this thing looks absolutely fantastic. I really do. I know some people don't like them, but frankly, you're wrong, because I'm right, because I'm doing the review. But anyway, moving on. Now, one thing I'm sure that nobody can deny is the fact that Hyundai have done a much better job than BMW have done with the 2 Series Grand Coupe that they've just launched. Now, I'm going to put a picture of it on the screen, and I hope you're sitting down or you haven't eaten recently. Yeesh! Yeah, not good. No. What were you thinking, BMW? This is how you do it. This is really nice. Lovely little spoiler. You've got a more aggressive rear bumper with these. I quite like all these little cuts in here and stuff. It makes it look like it's more aerodynamic. It's just styling. But anyway, that houses the twin exhausts. Now, that is something we are going to come to later because, yeah, I'm not happy. I am not happy. Now, what you can see here, you've got some lovely, well, okay, they were very clean 19-inch alloys before. It's dirty, it's wet, okay? Give me a break. But anyway, we've got some lovely 19-inch alloys with bigger brakes because this is only available with the performance option. So you get the 19-inch wheels, bigger brakes, and an e-diff, and some other bits and bobs. But basically this is more premium, therefore it only gets the performance treatment. And of course this is the only option available on the car is the paint. You can just choose which paint you have. This is actually a free option. This is engine red and this is free. The others are £585, I believe, for the metallics. But of course I have to say a huge thanks to BOTB for making these videos possible. They give away someone's dream car every single week. They have over 160 cars to choose from. Tickets start from just 85 pence. You only have to be 16 years or older to play, and it is a worldwide competition. Okay, so under the bonnet we have the same sort of engine that is in pretty much every hot hatch available these days, bar the RS3. It's 2 litre, 4-cylinder turbocharged petrol lump. This is 271 horsepower and 350 odd Newton meters of torque. That puts it in the same sort of ballpark as the Focus ST, not quite up there with the 300 horsepower hot hatches that are out there. So this is connected to the front wheels only via a 6-speed manual gearbox. Hurrah for the manuals, I say. And this will do 34 miles per gallon. It's got about 178, I believe, grams per kilometre of CO2. I think it's a great looking car inside. Yes, it's very generic hatchback, you know, it's quite hard touch plastics, soft touch here, hard scratch. Yeah, it's a fairly cheap hatchback when you take away the whole N side of things, so I think that can be forgiven. The ergonomics, I think, are great. What is a fantastic aspect of this? You've got the N button here. You can scroll through all the drive modes on this left-hand button here, should you desire, but you can just get in the car, bosh, straight into N mode, which makes all the fruity noises. All of this works very nicely. It's good. There's a little stick down here that changes the gear. When you use a pedal and you move this, very rare these days. But what's very important to talk about with this car is the sheer amount of kit that you get for standard. Now, it's $29,995, this car, which may initially sound like it's quite expensive, but you've got to think in terms of how much standard kit there is. Right, so to start with, driver and passenger seat, fully electric. These seats are also heated, as is the steering wheel. Wireless charging down there, keyless entry to get in and out of the thing, full Apple CarPlay, 8-inch screen, nav, infotainment. There are some actual dials. I like to see an actual needle sweep around. Maybe I'm just old school. Funny little thing here that's relatively phallic. We have an actual handbrake. I like an actual handbrake. I do. They generally go hand in hand with this old school tech, which is the manual gearbox. But most cars generally now are coming with an electronic handbrake, and I don't like them. And also, when it snows, you can go handbrake on and go very, very sideways, even in a front-wheel drive car. Apparently. Engine start-stop button over here. There is literally no kit that you probably don't want on this car. It is all standard. There are 0 options, and I'm blown away by just how much kit there actually is. Right, now this is where this kind of hatchback slash coupe styling really starts to fall down a little bit, because I'm sitting here in the back and yeah, I'm touching the head. Yeah, that's not great, and I haven't got any hair at all. Right, so in the boot of the i30 Fastback N, you can see it's actually quite big in here. Now, it's actually bigger than the hatchback because it's a bit longer, and up until this point, it doesn't actually matter in the car when you look at the boot volume. So it's 450 litres, which is fairly impressive, I think. The problem you have, which is the same as with the standard hatchback, is when you drop the seats down, as you can see there, this very impressive strut brace completely gets in the way of putting things out. I mean, it doesn't completely, but that would really impact what you're trying to put in here. Firstly, apologies for the sunglasses. The sun is ridiculously low and really very blinding, so I'd rather wear glasses than crash. Petrol cars, especially performance cars, now have to be fitted with these GPFs, OPFs, PPFs. Basically, they are a particulate filter, and what it does is absolutely kills the sound. Now, I drove the i30N hatchback about a year and a half to 2 years ago, and at that time I declared it to be my favourite hot hatch on sale, and I thought it was the best thing since sliced bread, and I've been singing its praises ever since. Now, I would say a large portion of that was down to the fact that it sounded absolutely hilarious when you put it in N mode. And I am deeply, deeply disappointed that the GPF curse has affected this i30 Fastback N. Yes, it doesn't sound as good as it did before, but before it sounded incredible. Now it just sounds brilliant. Okay, now there isn't a Honda Jazz dawdling in front of me, I can try and give you a little example of how this now sounds. So I'll drop the window a little bit. Now, 6-speed manual with rev match, very good. Oh, there's the pops. See, we can't get away from those pops still. They are fantastic. Punch it out of a corner. Down, into second, round the corner we... Oh, this is fun. I tell you what, it hasn't lost it completely. This is something that only a hot hatch can do. You don't get this kind of thrill and enjoyment down a B road in a supercar. They're just too quick. They're too quick, they're too wide, they're too unwieldy, that you can't see out of them. This is a family hatchback tuned to do exactly this. And God, I love hot hatches, I really do. To try and put this into slightly better terms without acting like a complete child, amazingly good points about this car. The handling is fantastic. It is so chuckable, so composed, with a huge amount of traction from this electronic diff that we've got here. It really does. You pitch it into a corner, keep the high revs a little bit, and if you pitch it into a corner, you can basically accelerate just before the apex, and this e-diff will just grip and throw you around the outside, and out you go. One of the really good things about this car is the fact that you have the customizable driving modes. Now, I know a lot of cars do that these days, most of them do in fact. This one seems to work particularly well for me. I can put the steering into something that isn't so darty that it throws you off the road, but I want the engine and the gearbox and everything. I want everything as naughty as possible, but still fairly comfy. In that respect, you just get in the car, and the first thing you do, double press the N button. The first press puts it into the standard N mode. That's with everything up to its max, which is great on track, not so good on the road. So I just do a double tap, which puts it into N custom, which you set up on the screen. Tip it in, floor it, yep. Diff just grips, and away you go. Oh, so much fun. So much fun. Okay, so after all that, is this actually a budget version of a Merc CLS 53? Well, sort of yes, but in reality no. What you've got here is a more stylish, slightly more grown-up version of the i30 N. It's a real shame about the exhaust, because that was one of its major selling points for me. But the fact is, if you like the styling and you like the way this thing goes, then just go for it. These are a fantastic option in the hot hatch market. So, as ever, again, one more big thanks to BOTB for making these videos possible. Dream car given away every single week. Go and check them out. And please do like and subscribe, because we have more videos coming every single week. Thanks very much. See you again.